I got nothing. I don't have a great read on this, and I'm not going to put risk in, when it's just not clear. So for me, what I do is size down in that scenario and then just, keep my risks tight. It's seven, at this point, it's a 7-point stop.
How you guys feeling about Jackson Hole week?
Um, I mean, good, I would say. I don't know how much we're gonna move, I guess, until Powell's speech on Friday. I mean, we've had Jackson Hole weeks where it's been volatile, and we've had other ones where we don't do a whole lot leading up to said speech. So I don't have, I guess, a bias one way or the other of how this week may shake out. But for the most part, I mean, we've been holding. ES has been holding the previous all-time high basically for the last 3 or 4 sessions plus, including this morning. So, I mean, I'm leaning a little bit to the bull side as long as we can continue to hold 6460s. So, yeah, we'll see how this morning kind of shakes out. I'm going to plan on kind of being patient to start today's session and start the week.
Same boat. We're starting to see some bearish activity. I think that's been well communicated by PAX and Farm. There's some good highs that have been kind of retested in NQ, and we keep pushing lower. That 23,880s area, really important for bulls, I think, to get back above to continue to push to the upside. But additionally, there's we're starting to build another volume distribution right here between 23,830 and 23,765. So I'm looking for that as a potential two-way playground before, the next move happens, if you will. So I guess I just don't have any strong opinions today, but I think we're starting to see some of that bearishness into the structure. But, somebody might just point out that this could just be a giant bull flag, and that's fine. I see that too. There might be some opportunity this morning, to look for a bit of a mean reversion, like Nick was talking about, looking for some longs out of the morning open. But we'll see what we get. We'll see what we get at the open. And, if you look to the left, that's the best thing a trader can do when they're looking at, higher time frame charts is just look what happened over here. We had resistance, resistance, resistance,
Hmm.
and then we finally blew through it. And now we've tested that same resistance point, which is becoming support, right? I think you actually make a pretty good point about, this morning being somewhat looking more on the long side, because realistically, for a great short to set up, we either need to go higher to one of these higher levels of resistance to look for potential short, or we just need to, break down from this level and then come back test it, right?
Hmm. I don't love going in like guns blazing and trying to just throw on like full size and
Yeah.
taking a ton of risk as the week is, as institutions, as other people are kind of positioning for the week or whatever it is. It's just like, I don't know, Mondays can just, especially off the open, can be a little sloppy or completely like one direction
Yeah.
at times. So I just tend to let things settle down a little bit, especially coming off like a weekend with that there was news or whatever it is. I just think there's plenty of trades to have in a week, and I don't need to, in theory, be chasing back points because I got very overzealous to start the week. It's like just a bad mindset for me to always to kind of go into versus like, hey, if I can start the week off green and then I can take a picture of the chart and just kind of figure it out from there based on how we opened, how the session went. I just have a much better mindset overall to take on the rest of the week versus
I
you
gotcha.
start with the DLL, you start with a red day, whatever, and then you're just kind of chasing the rest of the week and you're maybe kind of forcing trades to try to get back to break even or whatever. So I've just always felt when I start the week red, I just tend to struggle and take additional risk and just don't have, like, I'm not on my game when I do that.
I gotcha. Nick likes to see it open up.
Yep.
I got nothing. I don't have a great read on this, and I'm not going to put risk in, when it's just not clear. So for me, what I do is size down in that scenario and then just, keep my risks tight. It's seven, at this point, it's a 7-point stop. So not risking much at this point just because we aren't doing much. If you look at the top of the range and the bottom of the range, we're in the middle. I don't necessarily love being long from the middle, especially when we can't make any progress to the upside. And if we do, and I'm still in this piece, cool. That works for me. So that's the best thing for me with this scenario is just, take some risk off, take some profits from that long, just let it do whatever it's going to do. Pretty interesting sequence there on the Dom, just as far as like this on the spot trade idea is you're just really responding to what happened from
Right.
an order flow standpoint. Somebody lifted 200 lots at 75, and then they came and put a 200 lot bid at the same price with some other size surrounding it. And that's just not something that you see every day. That type of activity, it just stands out after, watching, just from an order flow perspective for so much time. Jump back in now that we took out that low. Seeing a bit of response in these 73s, but put a couple more on. Fingers on the trigger to eject. I'm out. That looked really good for a second for like a strong reversal scenario, but and that's why I added to it a little more, but it just didn't get the reaction, so I had to hit the eject. Maybe, Nick, we'll have some good opportunities in the afternoon sesh
I mean, every time I feel like it's setting up that way, we get caught in a 20-point range, but maybe we got the 20-point range
today.
out of the way in the morning, and then we'll be super volatile this afternoon with whatever comes out of the White House or something to provide some fuel for the VIX to get out of bed. But maybe that was your low.
Could be.
This presentation is for educational purposes only. All of the symbols, trading ideas, and live trading are for demonstrational purposes and are not recommendations or trading advice. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. All of the information and opinions expressed by third-party guests are their own and are not necessarily those of NinjaTrader, LLC. Trading futures involves substantial risk and may not be suitable for everyone, and trading futures can result in losses greater than the initial required margin. Traders should only trade futures with risk capital. Risk capital is money that you can afford to lose without jeopardizing your financial security or current lifestyle. You can find additional disclosure information on the NinjaTrader website.